It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. It's also live on our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're on Premier 100.5 FM in Takoradi, Beach 105.5 FM also in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we're on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyang. In the Ashanti region, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, Akpini Radio 96.7 FM in Pando and Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoi, also in the Volta region. In the Northern region, we're on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the Upper East region, we're on Word 88.3 FM in Zwarungu. In the Upper West region, we're on Westlink 88.1 FM in Lora. And in the Northeast region, we're on Eagle 94.1 FM in Wale Wale. The news is also live across the globe on citynewsroom.com. We're also streaming live on Facebook at Citi FM and CityTube on YouTube. My name is Safo, and this afternoon I'm here with
Charles Owusu.
Coming up, conveners of Ashaiman Lives Matter call on President Akufo-Addo to, as a matter of urgency, set up a committee to investigate the criminal acts of soldiers who brutalized residents of Ashaiman and the culprits punished, among other demands. Meanwhile, MP for Ashaiman Ernest Nogbe calls for calm following military brutalities in the area.
We are going to fight for justice. And as we are fighting for justice, we don't expect anybody to act contrary to what we are fighting for. When you see any military man in this community, do not think he has come here because of you.
Still ahead in the bulletin, Member of Parliament for Pong Katamanso demands compensation for constituents who were also allegedly brutalized and forced to eat cow dung by some military personnel.
We expect the government, the means of this thing, to come and assure the people or apologize at least for the actions that took place. And the people need assurance. As they are living in fear, so they need assurance that this act will not repeat itself again.
Also coming up, Ghana Private Road Transport Union at Anloga Junction in the Ashanti region reiterates calls for government to urgently address the perennial flooding in Kumasi.
When the flood comes, it affected the cars. Some of them engines are not working until some mechanics come in and work for it.
And later, Citi TV and Citi FM's Heritage Caravan on a 10-hour fun-filled journey from the Bono region to the Western region for more exciting adventures.
Our bus, we like to have nice games and interact with people and jam and all that. So it's been a fun ride. Even you don't even notice that it's 10 hours. Yeah.
All that and more on the Citi Prime News.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Let's start from here. The Member of Parliament for Pong Katamanso, Joseph Akwete Tete, says some of his constituents have been traumatized after they were allegedly forced to consume cow dung and wastewater from a slaughterhouse by some military officers. The MP says the incident took place on the day the military brutalized residents of Ashaiman after a soldier was allegedly killed by some unknown persons. Speaking to journalists, the lawmaker demanded an apology and psychological support to the affected persons.
How many of your people were actually apprehended by the military officer?
My information, more than 100, both Ashaiman and the people of Tulagu were taken away. And I learned a few have been released, but they are still keeping some in custody, which I'm not privy to the actual numbers. Yes.
So when you say government should act, what exactly should the government?
We expect the government, the means of this thing, to come and assure the people or apologize at least for the actions that took place. And the people need assurance. As they are living in fear, so they need assurance that this act will not repeat itself again.
But one would also think that if we are going to assure them, is that not kind of massaging the situation? Because this is an act, killing a soldier, it's an act that shouldn't be entertained at all.
Yes, we've condemned that aspect. But as I said, the people are still living in fear. And what they went through is too traumatic. And they may even need psychologists.
You heard the Member of Parliament for Pong Katamansong, Joseph Akwete Tete. Now, a group calling itself Ashaiman Lives Matter is calling on President Akufo-Addo to ensure that military officers who meted out brutality on residents of Ashaiman are brought to book. The soldiers on Tuesday unleashed mayhem on some residents of Ashaiman over the killing of a young military officer, Trooper Imuru Sharif. The Ghana Armed Forces later justified the action, claiming it was intelligence-led operation. In an interview with Citi News, the convener for Ashaiman Lives Matter, Emmanuel Na, says the action was uncalled for and asked the president to take action.
The president needs to bring those who came to brutalize the people to book. He must put them to order. He needs to let the military command understand that what they did is uncalled for. Then also, some of our people are still with the police, with the military. They are in the custody of the military. We are seeking for immediate release of our people to join their families. We also seeking that the president will compensate the people, but then make sure that properties that are destroyed will also be attended to. So these are a few of the things we listed. Because Ashaiman isn't the Ashaiman we used to know. Ashaiman is very safe and calm. Ashaiman, as you know, have a whole lot of people who live within and also come to do business here. So, in fact, what happened, we are condemning. Of course, we condemn the killers of the young military because it's our pride. It's the pride of Ashaiman. We are happy we have a military officer who will be protecting Ashaiman. But the fact that the sudden happening, okay, that doesn't mean they should also come to do what they came to do. What makes it very, very bad to us is just some few hours after this match, this happened. Not even up to 12 hours. Not even up to 12 hours. The police invaded Ashaiman to brutalize the people. Is that a sixth match we're talking of? What's the meaning of the sixth match?
The military, you mean?
Yes, the military. Sorry. Just after that, the military was asked to come and do this. So why the sixth match? This is what is making it very bad. That people and the president need to give attention and ask questions. If we knew they will be coming to do this, we understand the military came directly from whole after a sixth match to do this. So why the sixth match?
You're also calling for the provision of street lights. You think that also contributed to the killing of these military officer because there are no lights in the communities?
You are right, and I wouldn't miss lines of saying this. I am an assembly member, and I want to state this based on my position as an assembly member. Ashaiman to decide. Let me say, Taifa community to decide is in total darkness. It's in total darkness. We are lobbying for street lights to be given us, and that is not holding water.
Emmanuel Na is one of the conveners for Ashaiman Lives Matter. In a related development, the MP for Ashaiman, Henry Nogbe, has asked the people to remain calm while they seek justice.
Yesterday, I met the victims of the situation, and then we encouraged them. We gave them hope. All that I want to say now is that nobody should take the law into his or her own hand. Your leaders, as an MP, we are going to fight for justice. And as we are fighting for justice, we don't expect anybody to act contrary to what we are fighting for. When you see any military man in this community, do not think he has come here because of you. Don't attack anybody. Just remain calm while we, the leaders, fight for you. I hope I'm clear. Yes. I'm rushing to Parliament now to make a statement on this matter once again. And again, the Defense and Interior Committee will be meeting, emergency meeting this morning on this matter.
Ernest Nogbe is MP for Ashaiman. Charles has some more stories.
Now, some of Ghana's foreign creditors are demanding the payment of the default insurance contracts tied to the country's debt. Ghana has missed some coupon payments on its foreign-denominated bonds after embarking on a debt restructuring program due to its inability to honor debt obligations. Ghana skipped payment of interest on January 18 of a $1 billion Eurobond maturing in 2026. The missed payment triggered a 30-day grace period, which eventually expired on February 17. The external creditors are counting the missed coupon payments as a default and thus demanding the insurance payment. Economist Courage Boti says the demands are not likely to have an immediate impact on the country.
We haven't completed external debt restructuring yet, and coupons are falling due on some of those Eurobonds that were not paid. The grace period for honoring coupon obligations was 30 days, and that will last somewhere on 17th of February or so. So the question becomes, is it an event of default that warrants that these investors demand compensation from their insurers, or it was not a default? So I think the tribunal determined that it could constitute a default action. That meant that these investors are eligible to receive compensation from these insurers on their investments, really. And I think that is what the determination is. It has no immediate consequence for government of Ghana because this is an insurance and you are paid premium to cover against such events. So these investors get back whatever premium or whatever compensation they agree with their insurers on these bonds. The tribunal that starts on the case determined that it constitutes a default event and these investors are entitled to compensation from their insurers. I think that is where we are.
Courage Boti further expressed optimism that the IMF board will approve Ghana's $3 billion bailout by close of March as announced by President Akufo-Addo.
Between now, today, 9th and end of month, I guess the president is hopeful that they can complete all these processes. And of course, he may be aware of where the negotiations are and how they are advancing. And so I wouldn't say it is possible or not. But then, if what we are hearing concerning China and their willingness to play ball and the others are to be believed, I think there is quite some work to do, and the end of month target is quite ambitious. But I wouldn't say it's impossible because they know what level of engagement they are having and how fruitful it is so far.
You heard economist Courage Boti.
Let's go to the Ashanti region now because the leadership of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union at Anloga Junction in Kumasi has reiterated its call for government to urgently put measures in place to address flooding in the area. This comes after some cars at the Anloga Junction GPRTU station were submerged in floodwaters following yesterday's rains. As a result of the flood, commuters were unable to use the Anloga Junction to a doom stretch for a while as they had to wait for the water to recede. The vice chairman of Anloga Junction chapter of GPRTU, Kwabnache, tells Citi News the development has adversely affected their activities since some cars have broken down as a result.
In this morning, we couldn't work until we cleaned up this area. So that's what we are doing this morning.
Or were some vehicles affected? Last night, I saw that some vehicles had been submerged and all that.
Sure. We had some 4 or 5 cars that the drivers were not there. They just parked there and go. So when the flood comes, it affected the cars. Some of them, engines are not working until some mechanics come in and work for it. So some cars are affected. We have reported to the municipal, of Okro municipal, and they know all this thing. It has been happening so many years, as you were saying. But the whole problem is the drainage. We have a big drainage here. When it gets, full, then the other waters come out. So it floods the area. So the whole problem is the drainage. They're full of sand in the drainage. So I am appealing to the assembly to come and pick or remove the sand from the drainage. As for that, when they did that, we didn't get such a high flood situation here anymore.
Kwabnache is vice chairman of the Anloga Junction chapter of GPRTU in the Ashanti region. Let's go over the phone lines and speak to our bureau chief for the Middle Belt, Edward Opon-Mafo. Edward, thanks for joining us. We understand a 21-year-old girl is feared dead at Bremai in the Swami municipality of the Ashanti region following Wednesday evening's downpour. How extensive was the downpour? And give us details about this 21-year-old.
Yeah, so was yesterday's rain. From what I've said, it was about between 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes, and it was quite heavy one. And so, if you check major areas in Kumasi, and that's at the time it was raining, even after it had just finished raining, major streams had just overflowed and all that. So, looking at how it was, many areas got flooded. And so with Bremen in particular, the area got flooded. And what the eyewitnesses are saying is that this young lady, a 21-year-old, and her sandals got stuck. So in an attempt to just retrieve the sandals, she got washed away by the flood waters. And since last night, they've been making attempts to even recover the body of this young lady, but they have not been successful yet. And they have also reported the incident to relevant authorities such as the National Disaster Management Organization and the police and other agencies. And they're still working to find out that they'll be able to retrieve it. For the family members, they're saying they are going to have some kind of rituals done so that they'll be able to retrieve the body. And so that's the situation. But aside from her issue, many people have been affected in diverse ways. And as last night we reported, at Anloga Junction, the area got flooded to the extent that at the point, those who are traveling from the Tech Junction stretch to the Doom stretch, the point they were not able to cross that side. It has actually flooded that area. There's a gas station, there's a filling station. All these areas got flooded. And the Tech Junction to the Doom stretch, the flood was to the extent that people were unable to move. And there were some police officers and fire officers who were around who were advising people not to risk their lives by just attempting to cross. In fact, some tried initially, but when it got to a certain point, they were not able to go beyond that. And it got to a point that it even spread to the other side of the road where people are not able to also cross. And so those who were coming from the Doom section to the Tech Junction area, they were unable to cross once they got to the intersection, the traffic intersection at Anloga Junction. And so that's the situation. And this morning, we have been to the area, and still you can actually feel it. The vehicles that were submerged at the time, some of the vehicles are there and they're broken down as we speak. And this is a major worry for the leadership of the drivers over there. It's a GPRTU station over there. They're saying it's really a major concern because this is not the very first time that is happening. It keeps occurring, and once it happens, they're affected in a number of ways. And so they are saying that authorities should find a lasting solution to the issue. And so that's the issue with that area. And that's not all. And as it was raining on that stretch, so you could feel it from I was around at the time that it had flooded, and you could see that from Tech Junction, from the Anloga Junction area, it moves straight to the Boabo stretch, and it just gets to the Asawasi area and all that. So all those areas were affected. As I speak to you, we are at Asawasi, and with Asawasi to many places got flooded, and in fact, the houses were affected, and a lot of people have been displaced. As the last night to this time, as I speak to you, there are some people who have not been able to sleep at all. We're in a house, and after this time, you'll still see the level of the water is over there. They've been trying, and it doesn't look like it's going to be seen anytime soon. I'm here with one man who is really affected. He says from last night he has not been able to sleep, and they don't even know what is going to happen now. What's your name, and tell us, how have you been affected by this?
Our all belongings got spoiled because the first one got broken all of a sudden. So we can take nothing. All our Vono mattresses and our pillows, our all belongs, our food all got spoiled. So now we are dedicated. We have nothing to do. We have nothing to do. Moreover, we send our pillows to the MC. We start with him along with our supplement, but he did nothing. The bridge has been. The water cannot pass through. It passed above it. It passed beneath it. But still, nothing was done. And I said that behind the bridges, encroachers have encroached all the water banks. As a result, the water cannot flow. So we don't know what to do now because we can't enter the house. The people inside cannot come out. So we are staying outside. Nothing we can do.
And this is not the first time, just like you're saying.
It's been happening many years. Whenever it rains, whenever we go to rainy season, this is a problem we used to be facing every year, and every year too. We send our problems to them, but they could not address it. So now we don't know what we can do now.
You were telling me you've been here for how many years?
About 50 years. I was born here. Before it was not like this, but as a result of no clearing, encroaches, and the bridges is full of sand. About 3 years, no desilting, nothing was done. So the water cannot flow. That is why.
All right, so so that's the situation. And let me get to another person who has also been affected by this.
Edward, before you speak to other people, tell us, has there been any assurances from authorities? Have NADMO or any other authorities been around to assess the situation?
Well, as I speak to you, there are no officials at the moment, but let me get to the one I spoke to earlier to find out if there have been some form of assurances from those in authority, NADMO officials or other government officials.
Okay, last year about...
So I mean today.
Today.
That's from what happened last night.
What happened up to now, we saw no one has come here. We see no one here. No one authority has come here, even ask what are we doing. No one has come here. No one, no any authority member has come here. Neither MC or NADMO, no one.
But are they aware of your situation?
I called our assemblyman. He said he has done his part because he has been sending messages to the MC, but he did nothing. So the only thing we are in is we are preparing to make demonstration because we made petition about 5 times. We sat with him, but he could not do nothing. So we have nothing to do now.
And you are planning to demonstrate. You feel yes. That is the
only way that can maybe the authorities will come to our salvage.
All right. Okay. So, so let's get to the other person. You two, how have you been affected by this?
Last night we couldn't even sleep, and all our things had to be destroyed or something. The fishes, the way they entered, the women, the way they were crying at me, I couldn't even sleep last night.
You mean with a flood, there were fishes in it?
There were fishes inside our rooms. We couldn't even sleep. I had to even sleep just dawn, around 3 a.m. My children, everybody was crying, and it was very, 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 very serious.
And so how many are you in that house?
In our house, let me say we are about 8 or 7. Let me say 8 people living inside the house.
All right, so that's it. Can we talk to another person too?
No, Eddie, I think we'd have to end it here. Thank you very much for the update. We'll still stay on that beat and update our listeners in subsequent bulletins. Thank you very much. You heard me speak to our Bureau Chief for the Middle Belt, Edward Opon Mafu. But let's stay in Anloga a while longer because Charles has some more stories.
Well, residents in Alonga, despite the flooding, can now heave a sigh of relief following the construction of a footbridge linking Alonga and Sisechi. In June 2021, a 50-year-old woman, Akosia Dufie, met her untimely death after drowning in her attempt to cross the old dilapidated bridge that was being used by residents as a temporary measure. The residents say their fears have now diminished following the construction of the new footbridge.
The bridge has brought a lot of relief to the communities, to the residents living over here, especially the market women, those that trade around this area, students that almost go to campus. We have KNUS senior high, we have the university around. This is their main route that they normally pass from Asukwa to campus, from stadium to campus. So it have brought a lot of relief to the community. There's no any short way linking Angoga to CCH, linking Angoga to Tech, linking Ofurukum or Asukwa to Tech. So it have brought a lot of relief. From when it starts to rain, a lot of people start to fear. You have to go and pass through Sisansu or Bomsu. It is a long way. So sometimes they normally call us, it's the bridge around. That time it was footbridge. When we came to power, we have constructed about 7 bridges that are footbridge, but the rain has washed all away. So this project is a major project for the community. It's almost a rainy season. So what we are asking them is they should speed up the work for them to complete early so that it will not bring any problem to the community. And we are also asking the contractor to help us construct the drainage, to add the drainage to this contract, because if the drainage is added, it will help a lot so that the passage of the water wouldn't be wide again, it will be narrow.
Those were residents of Alonga Sisechi within the Oforukro municipality of the Ashanti region.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live on 97.3 Citi FM. Still to come, prosecutors asked the Asukwa Circuit Court for 3 weeks to enable them file witness statements in a case involving the alleged political incitement of the National Democratic Congress youth organizer for the Swami constituency. We'll bring you those details shortly. Do stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Keys. What could be simpler than a key? Who doesn't have a key? A car key, an office key, a drawer key. But there's one key that rules them all. The house key. The key to a place we call home. The key to the home where everything comes together. The key to a home that is our own. A home where we make life happen with our families and loved ones. Adoha has been working hard for over 30 years to make home ownership within reach for many. Say yes to property with Adoha. Your dream home is one call away. Your dream home is a few clicks away. Visit our Accra project, The Place, by calling 030-2789-757.
Listen up, people. There's good news for Airtel Tigo customers who haven't started and those who are yet to complete their SIM re-registration. Yes, good news. Complete your SIM re-registration and get free 5GB data falla to browse, chat, Zoom, TikTok, Snap, and do more on Airtel Tigo to change your world. If your SIM has been blocked, don't worry. You can have your number back and also get a whopping 5GB data as soon as you register with your Ghana card. Simply visit the nearest Airtel Tigo shop or agent today. Complete your SIM registration now. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM with me, Safo, and Charles Owusu Kumi. We have some more stories for you. Prosecutors have asked the Asukwa Circuit Court for 3 weeks to enable them file witness statements in the case involving the National Democratic Congress youth organizer for the Swami constituency, Razak Kwampa Avoleya. Mr. Avoleya is standing trial for alleged political incitement after remarks he made in a video went viral. The prosecution had told the court in the previous proceeding it would serve all disclosures to the defense counsel, but failed to do so when it appeared in court today. Counsel for Razak Kwampa Avoleya, Evans Amankwa, gave details of Thursday's proceedings.
As we indicated to you at the last agenda, the court agended the case to today, 9th day of March 2023, and the court ordered that the prosecution should serve us with their witness statement and disclosures. But unfortunately, they couldn't do that. So their excuse was that they were trying to transcribe the content of the video to English language, and they have not done that, but they are almost doing so. So the court adjourned the case to 4th day of April 2023, by which time the court has ordered them that they have to serve us with their witness statement and disclosures. When that is done, then we can come for case management conference on the 4th day of April.
You heard the counsel for Razak Kwampa Avolea Evans Amankwa. Meanwhile, the national organizer of the NDC, Joseph Yamin, has accused the police of intentionally delaying and dragging the case.
It's about the delay. The last adjourned date, the court indicated, and in fact, it's the prosecution that proposed today. And they were supposed to give us their witness statement and whatever. So if about a month now, the police is unable to transcribe a video less than 10 minutes, then it baffles me to want to believe that the police is serious about the case. I mean, this is something that the police should have done so easily that anybody won't take you more than 10 minutes to be able to get a transcript of the content of the video. And so I was surprised, same as the learned judge, very surprised. The counsel for the defendant also very surprised that the police never came with their witness statement. And they were requesting for another 2 weeks to get a transcript of less than 10 minutes video. It's just an indication that probably the police don't see a future in this case and also don't want to let it go for whatever reasons.
You heard the national organizer of the NDC, Joseph Yamin.
We'll stay with the courts because the judge presiding over the case involving 2 teenagers in Kaswa accused of killing for ritual purposes has threatened to issue a bench warrant for a juror in the matter who has been absent from the hearing today. The court was expected to commence trial on Thursday with prosecution scheduled to present its first witness, but that did not happen as the jury was not properly constituted due to the absence of one of the jurors. The foreman explained that the said juror had earlier explained to him he had by a letter notified the court of his inability to be part of the hearings. But Justice Lydia Osei-Marfo indicated that since there was no evidence of such a letter before the court, the juror will be assumed to be absent for only Thursday's hearing. The judge adjourned the case to March 13, noting that an arrest warrant may be issued against the juror who is a worker with the Social Welfare Department if he is not in court on the adjourned date.
Away from that, the majority in Parliament says despite the economic challenges, the government has been committed to ensure constant power supply and the sustainability of the free senior high school policy. President Akufo-Addo on Wednesday delivered an address in Parliament on the state of the nation, highlighting some deliverables of the government. Moving a motion for the commencement of a debate on the presentation, the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Penyomarkin, says the President has been candid with the citizenry.
I dare challenge them that in spite of the crisis we find ourselves, of which the government of Nana Akufo-Addo has made every effort to keep our lights on, in spite of all the challenges we face, the government has made effort to sustain the free SHS program. What is the alternative? What is the alternative? Yesterday, the President was very honest in admitting that we are in crisis and called on all of us to join him in solving the challenges we face. As a government in waiting, as a major opposition party, have they been able to tell us their policy alternative? Have they been able to tell us what they are going to do to make life better? But Mr. Speaker, the only thing they've been clear and unambiguous on is Article 71. The only thing they seem to be clear is the populist slogan of dealing with Article 71. And even so, Mr. Speaker, they are under the impression that it is only the executive that benefits from Article 71. Mr. Speaker, they have forgotten that Article 71 has to do with the judiciary and other arms of government and not only the executive. And even so,
by the imperatives of Article 290, it is not just a mere presidential or executive fiat that will take away Article 71. It requires a referendum, which will come at a cost.
Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Penyomarkin there.
Now, the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry is demanding accountability on the Electronic Transaction Levy, e-levy, part of which was promised to be used for servicing debts of contractors and the award of new ones. Government, during consultations to have the e-levy passed, claimed the levy will help it pay contractors working on road infrastructure. However, the Chamber says the delayed payment of debt owed them for work done on various roads across the country is having a toll on them. Speaking to Citi News, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, Emmanuel Cherry, wants the government to immediately pay them their debt or face lawsuits.
I was expecting the president yesterday should have touched on that also to give us a vivid account of e-levy. How much has e-levy generated? How much has gone into use tax? How much gone into the road sector? Ever since the e-levy has been, accepted or approved by Parliament, this is how much has come in, this is how much has been set aside for use tax, this is how much has been set aside for road construction, this is how much has been used to pay the, works which has been done already in the road sector. And if this happens and the people see that indeed their money is being utilized well, they themselves will call for more. Now that there's an increase in this, in VAT, all because of what road infrastructure network. Here, like the case to the sector is being attended to. All the contracts that has been awarded to contractors, almost 95 to 97% have moved from site, which is very embarrassing. I don't know whether the president is not aware of it. If he's not aware, as I said yesterday, he should try as much as possible nicodemously, unannounced, move to some of the sites that he visited in the past during his tour and see whether contractors are still on those particular sites or not.
That was the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, Emmanuel Cherry.
The Deputy Education Minister, Dr. John Ntimfojor, says over 47,000 students were placed in technical and vocational schools in the year 2023. Dr. Fojor says the number has increased significantly following the introduction of the free TVET program. Speaking to Citi News on advances made within the TVET space, Dr. John Ntimfojor says the investments made in the space will soon be realized.
In 2015, when we had only 2% of our children at P2 reading, now we have over 56% of our primary learners reading. And there's more we are doing. Over 47,000 boys and girls were placed in TVET institutions, a record enrollment, which has never happened before. And that is an indication, and it's all free. Parents don't find ourselves in, if not for prudent management of the economy and for sound economic policies that were put in place. You know, one would have thought that across the world, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, and elsewhere, occasioned by COVID-19 effects and the Russian-Ukraine invasion, many countries are in very desperate situations. But education hasn't suffered in Ghana. Rather, we see transformation occurring in every community, in every school, in every facet of our education sector. Right from foundational learning, we have been able to achieve pre-primary enrollment of 100%.
Deputy Education Minister Dr. John Ntimfojor.
Now, the Africa Center for Retirement Research is calling for the reversal of a recent policy by the Social Security and National Insurance Trust (SNIT) to discontinue receiving contributions of members who have reached the retirement age of 60. The directive to disallow contributions is based on Section 70, Clause 1 of the Pensions Act. In an interview with Citi News, the Executive Director for the Africa Center for Retirement Research, Masood Abdallah, says SNIT misinterpreted the law and the implementation of the policy will have dire consequences on the affected members of the scheme.
We have gotten to a point where we need to review the mode of pension indexation in this country. When reviewing pensions, we need to consider a model that segregates the fixed rate of increment in a manner that high monthly pension earners will receive a moderately lower fixed rate as compared to low monthly pension earners. For instance, if you give 19% fixed rate to everybody,
shooting the highest earning pensioner from 142,000 to 168,000. Clearly, there's something wrong, and it has to do with the mode of indexation. You have to really segregate the fixed rate. Check that the high monthly pension earners will receive a lower fixed rate as compared to low monthly pension earners. So, for instance, if you are doing an overall 25%.
You heard the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Retirement Research, Masood Abdallah.
The Ghana Water Company Limited has bemoaned the rampant rate at which its meters and other connection equipment are stolen. In a statement released, the GWCL expressed concerns about the alarming rate at which water meter thievery occurs in some areas, predominantly in Kaswa, Amasaman, and Dansoman operational districts. Speaking to City News, GWCL Communications Manager for Accra West, Mrs. Solace Akomia, urged Ghanaians to protect their meters by creating barricades around them.
Yeah, so what we are urging customers to do is to, as it were, barricade or cover their water meters. You know, we have a challenge. When the water meters are installed within the premises, our officials come and they want to take readings, and it becomes quite a difficulty, especially in the gated areas. They come, in fact, they visit about 2 times and they don't get access. When it happens like that, it hampers operations. And so that's why these days the meters are placed at the gate of the customer. The idea is for the customer to cover the meter, to as it were, shield it from thievery.
You heard the communications manager for the Ghana Water Company Limited, Solace Akomia. This is still the City Prime News on 97.3 City FM. Still to come, City TV and City FM's Heritage Caravan on a 10-hour fun-filled journey from the Bono region to the Western region for more exciting adventures. We'll tell you more shortly. Do stay.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Charlie, so the first thing they do when you wake up is check out highlights. And then all you go remember, I for take the kids to school. He left small, you drop the ball, boss. You go fit meet your deadlines without ever missing the game. Now you be true, boss. You then make it to date night on game night, but still they catch the game, right? Hey, Charlie, boss. You they bring you the best leagues for any screen top, wherever you day. From only 59.99 Ghana cedis per month. Live from Super Sport on Showmax Pro. Sign up on showmax.com.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories. The lack of doctors and other critical health staff is impeding healthcare delivery in the Wa East district of the Upper West region. The district, which has over 93,000 inhabitants, has been operating without a resident doctor since its creation in 2004. Doctors posted to the district have, over the years, declined to work in the area, compelling the residents to travel far distances to other districts to access critical healthcare services. City News' Latif Mahama visited the area and filed the following report.
Article 36, Clause 3 of the 1992 Constitution makes it an obligation of the state to prioritize the health needs of Ghanaians by stipulating that all citizens are protected by the state on health. This means that the right to health as a social fundamental right must be guaranteed and enjoyed by all citizens. However, it appears residents of the Wa East district in the extreme north of Ghana are missing this right. Plagued by extreme poverty levels amidst lack of basic social amenities, the greatest challenge for most inhabitants is how to access proper healthcare services. The over 93,000 inhabitants can only resort to some 10 health centers and CHIPS compounds dotted in the hinterlands to address their health needs because there is no hospital or doctor in the district except the District Director of Health Services, who sometimes sacrifices his administrative roles to attend to patients. His role as a doctor is even impeded as there is no single theater or laboratory to enhance his operations. Addressing various stakeholders on their 2022 Holistic Annual Health Review at Bulenga, the district director called for stringent measures to get doctors to the Wa East.
At a district like us, with a population of a little over 94,000, is having just one doctor. I should say half a doctor, because I am the only doctor attending to all these people within the district. So we will urgently need a doctor to be posted to us. In fact, I would also thank and appreciate the Regional Director of Health Services for trying his best to post some doctors to us. But unfortunately, when these doctors come and they see the place, they go and they never report. Just this year, we received postings for one doctor to be stationed at the Bulenga Health Center. Our biggest challenge was accommodation and also to fashion out a motivational package to attract him to stay. His letter of assumption was reported to the region pending his arrival. Unfortunately, after also coming to assess the place, somebody who is even from this area, he turned his back to us.
He narrated a harrowing experience he encountered at the Bulenga Health Center, where a pregnant woman on referral to Wa died with her baby due to the lack of a theater.
This is very emotional, but I must say this. This was a labor case that was referred from Dusie community. Dusie is within the Bulenga sub-district. The case was referred to the health center due to complications of the pregnancy when she presented to the chief's compound for delivery. Unfortunately, the staff at that level could not handle the case. So they immediately instituted the referral system by calling on the ambulance. It took close to 2 hours before the ambulance got to Dusie. Now from Dusie to Bulenga, it's not quite far, but per the nature of the road, the ambulance also got to the health center very late. When the case came in, I got a call from the attending midwife. Upon getting there, myself and my team realized that the case needed urgent surgical intervention. And so we had to call Wa Municipal Hospital to start preparing their theater whilst we joined the ambulance en route to Wa Municipal Hospital. Amidst the dangling in the ambulance on our bad road network, the woman stopped breathing.
The lack of doctors in the Wa East district has put undue stress on a few of the existing health facilities.
Behind me is the Bulenga Health Center. This health facility serves as a major referral center for over 32 communities in the northwestern part of the Wa East district due to the lack of a hospital or a polyclinic in the district.
We are surrounded by a number of sub-districts, and we are almost like we are in the center. So other sub-districts, Kundugu, Yala, Holomuni, Logo, they all refer their cases to this facility. The pressure, it has to do with the facilities. But right now, currently, we are a health center. And if the facility was converted or upgraded to a polyclinic, and that is the vision of our district director. He has been working tirelessly to upgrade this place into a polyclinic. You know, polyclinic comes with several facilities by way of space, admission spaces, other laboratory services, equipment, and even the cadre of staffs that will be posted to a polyclinic will be upgraded as compared to a health center.
Residents who appear to be bearing the brunt of the lack of doctor situation in the Wa East district are appealing to the government to urgently address the issue.
The plight of these residents adds up to the over 93,000 inhabitants of the Wa East who travel from far to rich communities such as Kulum, Yanyombe, Kulkong, Kende, Palwako, and other overseas villages before they can access the services of a doctor. Dr. Damien Punguyure is the Upper West Regional Director of Health Services.
The region has seen a remarkable improvement. Every district at least has at least 2 doctors, apart from Wa East. That means that there's a backup for a doctor in each of the 10 districts currently. The issue of Wa East has to really do with availability of an infrastructure. First, where the doctor will have to work, and then secondly, accommodation facility for the doctor to stay and work. The reason is that it is the only district out of the 11 districts that currently do not have a health facility, a polyclinic or a hospital. And a doctor needs to work in at least a polyclinic where you have access to theater and other ancillary services like laboratory space and personnel and so on. And so currently what the district director, who is a medical doctor, has been sent there to do is to work with the district stakeholders to upgrade one of the health centers into a status of a polyclinic where we can now assign a full-time doctor to the district. So as I speak, there is only one doctor in Wa East who is the the district director. The district is wide, and the strategy is just to have, for health, our goal is to ensure that people have increased access to health services. So the thinking is to station a doctor at the Bulenge zone and then another one at the Funsi zone. If you look at how the district is, during the rainy season, one cannot cross from one segment from Bulenge to Funsi and vice versa. So,
access to good quality health care is enshrined in the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. But it appears residents here in the Wa East district of the Upper West region are missing this right due to the lack of doctors and health facilities here in the district. They are thus appealing to the government for urgent intervention to ameliorate the situation. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Latif Mahama. Bulenga.
Now, patrons of the Heritage Caravan are currently en route to Etuabo in the Western region to continue with activities to mark the 2023 Heritage Caravan. This comes hours after patrons were giving a treat at the Usbet Hotel in Sunyani in the Bono region after touring the Molit National Park earlier on Wednesday. In the following report, Citi News' Kweku Ediamansa has been gauging the mood of patrons in anticipation of a fun-filled evening at the Maha Beach Resort.
We are inching closer to the end of the 2023 edition of the Heritage Caravan, which is being organized by CTFM and Citi TV with other partners also sponsoring this particular event. Well, today is the 6th day and we're currently in Sunyani, precisely at the Uzbek Hotel, where patrons are currently getting their luggage on the bus, their respective buses, and will be moving to our next destination, which will be at Atuabo in the Western region. Remember that when we get to the Western region, we're going to have an event there that is going to be a formal dinner tonight, and so you would want to also check on that. But I will be engaging some of the patrons here. Let me just grab a few of them and then speak to them. Let me just speak to this gentleman. How has the experience been for you so far?
Charlie, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. Like traveling across regions, meeting new people, meeting friends on the bus and all that. It's been amazing. Quite an experience.
Great. And we're now leaving. We are going to be on the bus for at least 10 good hours. What was your experience like when we're traveling back down and we spent over 12 to 13 hours?
So our bus, we like to have nice games and interact with people and jam and all that. So it's been a fun ride. Even you don't even notice that it's 10 hours. Yeah. So I mean, today too is another day. We spend the time on the bus. So let's see how it goes, man. Yeah.
You have also been having super fun on the bus. That's on bus 2. And we're moving on another trip. I mean, moving from here to the Western region. What are your expectations going forward?
Maha Beach. Yeah, any resorts in front of the sea, around the sea, Charlie. Superb. We expect a lot. There's a dinner dance over there. We are ready, we are swift. I mean, for the past few days, we've been like the Ari guys, the Jago guys. Yeah. But I mean, tonight we are going to be gentle.
Formal, you mean?
Formal, yeah. I say like we want to show the world that it's not only about shorts and then some t-shirts, but we can wear suits and stuff too. So we're expecting a lot. You understand? Okay. But I think we need to add some few more days to it so that I can ask for another 2 days for leave. So.
Another 2 days so that you enjoy it. Okay. So yes, he's one of the Caravanites here who is having a great time, a swell time here. So 3 buses, bus 1, bus 2, bus 3 on the other side. We're moving very soon to Atiabo. And as I have indicated, it's been mad fun for patrons over the period. I don't know if I can quickly get on the bus. Let me just try and see the experience. Well, I'll just do a quick shout here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, so let me just explain that one. So anytime you hear let's go, it means that we all need to be moving from our rooms. I mean, let's get on board and we'll move our way to our next destination. Let me speak to some of the people here. Okay, so you have your things packed. We're moving to Atiabo Maha Beach Resort. What are you looking forward to?
Okay, I was there last year, so I have a bit of what to expect. But I'm just looking forward to a very good time there again.
Well, some people are saying that if it's possible, we should, add 2 more days to the trip.
I agree. I totally agree. If we do like 2 weeks, it'll be fine.
2 good weeks?
Yes, 2 good weeks. 10 days. Okay, 10 days. But 1 more day here in Uzbek. Wow. Yeah, one more day here in Uzbek.
Okay, so it means that people are enjoying the experience here at Uzbek. Let me just get to speak to him if he is also, supportive of the 2 more days or.
Oh, yes. Totally enjoyable experience, and particularly here at Uzbek Hotel. It's been a wonderful experience. Too bad we have to leave. We didn't quite enjoy all the facilities, but it's been fantastic so far.
Okay, I'm grateful. So I'll do a last shout. The other one, we'll do that one, okay? Citi Yakoko, Citi Yakoko, Uzbek Yakoko, Maha Yakoko. All right. All right, so this has been, this is the bus 2, the very fun bus that you want to be on anytime, any day, and we'll be getting the experiences as and when it matters.
Yes, what we try to do within the Heritage Month is to focus on our indigenous cuisines. Cuisines that are getting missing. I was at the breakfast today, and some people, there was what we call chachra and other things, and somebody was asking me, what is it? What does it go with? What do we eat with? It means that we are getting lost in sense of touch with our local cuisines, and that is what Uzbek will try to do. Uzbek is probably, I would say, that the first hotel to try and introduce local cuisines even in breakfast in Ghana. And we have built this one now. Today, you saw that in breakfast, there's kenke, there's Hausa cocoa, there's local porridge, there is everything local. And that's what we try to do at Uzbek here.
What would you tell people who are here to experience your facility?
If you've not tasted the Uzbek experience, you may want to try. Just go online, search for Uzbek Hotel. Our phone numbers are there. You can reach us, and then we'll let you have that experience. The match talked about Kobe pizza, the original one, made from here.
That was the General Manager for Uzbek Hotel, Robert Mensah, ending that report by Citi News' Kweku Ediamansa.
And that's it for the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka here in Accra. I am Safo, and I was here with
Charles Owusu.
For more news, log on to citinewsroom.com. Up next is the business news.
Citi 97.3.